All right, so to go into equation, you're basically gonna press menu button. Okay, and so if you're on some calculation mode, just press menu button and you scroll down all the way to equation. You can obviously take the shortcut by pressing alpha A button. You can see on the top here, but it's always good that you can scroll down with this big button. Once you go into this, you are subjected for solving simultaneous, solving polynomial, and there is some solver equations. I'm going to show you through these examples how to use these solver, polynomials, and simultaneous equation. So let us just begin up with the simultaneous equation first. So when I enter the simultaneous equation, which clearly is, you have to press F1 button because it's right below it. So press F1 button, and now you go under the number of unknowns, which is 2. I wanted to solve, let's say, this kind of equation, the first one. You're gonna press number of unknowns as 2. So here, number of unknowns, if I press 2, it shows clearly the values to be input. So 2x plus 3y equals to 8, x minus y equals to 9. If I want to, let's say, solve this equation directly on GDC, how do we do this? So simply, if you look at this coefficient, it just asks you to input the coefficients and it gives you the value. So let's say if I want to solve the first equation, so number of unknowns are 2. So clearly I have to press number of unknowns 2. If there were 3 unknowns like this, I will press this. I will press number of unknowns as 3. And the good thing is that it can solve up to 6 unknowns. It means that you can solve up to 6 equations if required. So first thing is that, let's say I want to start with number of unknowns being 2. So what we have out here is that I'm just going to press the coefficients like a and b and c, and you can see the coefficients and obviously the right hand constant. So what you do is, let's say, take 2 and press execute. It automatically takes to the next number. Then 3, execute. 8, execute. 1, execute. Minus 1, execute. And 9, execute. And once you're done typing these, then you're going to obviously execute to get the exact answer. So the x is 7 and y is -2. I repeat again, you're just going to look at the coefficients clearly: 2, 3, and 8, 2, 3, and 8, 1, -1, and 9. So this makes, this gives you an idea about how to solve the simultaneous equation under 2 unknowns. So you press execute to get the answer. Be careful that equation is in the standard form. So sometimes your y is this right hand side. Make sure you are first bringing it in proper form in order to solve it. Now let me just show you how to solve for 3 unknowns as well. So in this case, what you're going to do is, let's say, press 3 number of unknowns. So press exit first, press simultaneous, a number of unknowns 3. Obviously I press F2. Now you're going to once again type the coefficients. So 2, execute, 3, execute, 4, execute, 8, execute. Same way, press the other one. Now coefficients. 2, -1, and 3, and 1. So now once we equate it, once we execute it, you can clearly see that these are the x, y, and z values clearly. So hence, this calculator enables us to solve any simultaneous equation up to 6 unknowns in a similar way. So just repeating, look at the coefficients, look at the structure, put the coefficients, just type out the numbers on your screen and keep pressing execute. It keeps shifting to each, or you can manually navigate up, down, whichever numbers you want to change using this. So it basically always clearly kind of reflects upon how do we solve the number of equations. Now coming to the quadratics and all, so you're going to press this button, which is polynomials. So press F2. Now it asks you whether you want to solve degree 2 or degree 3. So I wanted to solve a quadratic, which is of degree 2, let's say. So degree 2, you press F1 and it opens up a standard quadratic form. So let's say I want to solve x squared minus 2x minus 6 equals to 0. So you just gonna take the coefficients put out here. So you take 1, then -2, then +6, sorry, -6, and then press execute. So these answers that you're getting, this is the exact value, and this is the decimal equivalent for this. So if you just scroll up or down, you can clearly see these are the two roots of this equation. It's not necessary that always this is going to give you equation in roots as real numbers. So anytime when your roots are like complex, it either doesn't show, or it says no real root exists. So I can show you out here that how it changes when there are no real roots. So let's say if it is 1, -2, and instead of 6. So you can see that it clearly shows no real roots. All right, so the setting can be activated, and there is a menu option by which you can activate the setting, which is here by Shift Menu. So press Shift and Menu. It takes you down. You can see these are the settings, and you can clearly just change the mode of the calculator from real to complex number, which is a plus bi. So once you do that, obviously by pressing F2, you can see that now the roots are complex. It gives the complex roots as well. So this is a really interesting tool that you can find out you can use to find whether real or complex roots of any quadratic. So just repeating again, press Shift and Menu, and to go to this out here, complex mode. And if you want to keep the roots real, press real F1. If you want to keep it complex, you can press F2, and then press execute to come out on the equation once again. Now if I want to solve a cubic equation, obviously my degree now becomes 3. So you press 3 here, and again type out the coefficients. So let's say 1, 5, -4, and 2. So once you put these values, press execute, you can see that this complex number has only one real root and other two complex roots. All right, so if you just don't want to see the complex roots, you can just press once again the similar setting, keep the similar setting real, and it just shows you one real root. So use of this execute button is like enter on our normal laptop. So just make sure that you don't forget how to do this execute. Otherwise, sometimes students just do here and this like, oh, my answer is 1. It just gave me answer is 1. That's not correct. Just press execute, because these are just the input values by you. These are not the answers. These keep changing. You can see that this is 8 now. It's the same thing as input that you gave. So this is how to solve equation, quadratic, cubic, simultaneous on the basic GDC. Now coming out of this, there's third equation tool that we use is called solver. Now solver is basically, I don't recommend for students to be used much. Solver is something which is basically to solve any random equation which is not quadratic, cubic, or simultaneous or something like that. So let's say I have been given to solve this, which doesn't fall in any category, x raised to 4 plus 3 to the power x. So how do we get x out here? Let's see, this is the x. To use the x, you have to press this button, which is clearly, you can see x out here so that you can get proper x, because sometimes it starts giving you syntax error. So clear all drawings. So you press x to the power. So I press this power button, x to the power 4. To come out of the power, you press this. Otherwise, the equation types in the power itself. You can see if I'm on the power, it just keep typing on the power. So better come down and type 3 plus 3 to the power x, and press shift and this button equal. You can see equal out here. So press shift and equal. So it gives you the equals to sign. I repeat again, shift equal to get the equals to sign. And then obviously right hand side is 1000. So that's not your answer, of course. You have to press execute once again. to get the proper answer. So x is 5.16. That can be clearly seen. The drawback of this is that if you wanted to solve a quadratic, let's say out here, x square, let's say if I want to solve shift equals to 4, it just gives me one answer. Clearly it can be seen that it gives me one answer. So that is not a right way. This is why I don't recommend this, because it just doesn't give the multiple answers. One of the other solution, guys, is to solve this equation is to basically use the very special feature that is called as a nsolve feature of the run matrix, this where you did the normal calculations. Just remember these buttons that I'm pressing: option, calc, solven. Option, when you press option button, repeating again, press option, press calc button, which is F4, and press solven, which is here. So you can out here, you can solve any equation, and if it has got any number of solution, it gives you all the answers possible. So solve n, x square equals to 4. So if I execute, you can clearly see that both the answers are coming. I repeat once again with a different example. Press option, calc, solven, and let's say you want to type any equation you want. X to the power 5 plus x square equals to 100. You can see that the calculator solves. It just gives you a warning. So just press exit button. Exit button is out here, you can see clearly. So press exit and it gives you the answer. So I hope this equation solving tool helps you. And if there is any kind of confusion, you can rewatch this again video.